All right. I also have a senior sports journalist, Mr. Gautam Bhattacharya, joining us at this moment. Gautam Bhattacharya, let us cut through the noise. Has the BCCI become a pawn in a larger political game, or is it failing to stand its ground as a sports governing body? What do you feel?
I think it's more of the second, Osama. I was following your previous program on the subject where you had done some number crunching about how how much revenue stands to be lost. But so far, what BCCI had done is they had always put the ball on the government's court that unless the government doesn't want us to travel to Pakistan, the government doesn't want us to play Pakistan. Then came the question of that hybrid model in ICC events. But here, BCCI is, they have to sort their own problem. So they need to take a stance. One of the stance can certainly be, to give a walkover to Pakistan for that particular game. Now, how practical is that? The last still hasn't been heard on the issue, Osama.
Yeah, but what I also want to understand is that India has previously pulled out of bilateral series with Pakistan. There are no bilateral cricketing relations with Pakistan. But when it comes to multi-sporting events, say for example the Asia Cup or other such events, people say that there is a lot of technicality involved. A lot of people quote the Olympic Charter. Look, you have ambitions to host the Olympic 2036. India has strong ambitions of that, and you don't really want to upset the established order. Is that the right understanding? How do you assess that? How do you look at that?
Yes, that's the right understanding up to a point, but cricket has a specific problem. Cricket's problem is if you take away the India-Pakistan game from its rota, be it the Asia Cup or be it the Cricket World Cup, whichever form, even the Women's World Cup, then the product's equity falls drastically. Then the sponsors and the broadcasters are not going to play ball. So whichever country it suits, as the case may be, they try and leverage on this. I think what had been bugging India all the more is the ACC is right now being headed by a Pakistani who's the interior minister, and he had gone ahead and announced the schedule. India so far hasn't said yes or no to playing, But yes, I mean there is definitely a dichotomy in the whole thing as to how we can tackle it. Because on one hand, we have already announced the Women's World Cup scheduled where India-Pakistan matches there. Next year, we have got the T20 World Cup where we'll play hybrid, possibly play in Sri Lanka. So what's wrong with Asia Cup? Some people may ask. But this is where the emotions are still raw, and there's a lot of public pressure weighing in at this point, which is making it difficult. That's why the BCCI is silent.
We also have Mr. Yashowardhan Jha Azad, the ex-IPS officer, who's joining us at this point of time. But before I come to you, sir, Gautam Bhattacharya, very quickly, what are these numbers that we are talking about? What are these revenue numbers that we are talking about? How significant is it?
See, I've got to look at what's the deal with Sony TV is, because I know it's a multi-Asia Cup program, and that rests with Sony. Pakistan board on their they are not the host this time, but Pakistan stands to gain about 117 million Pak rupee or something like that. And for India, of course, India are the hosts. I mean, what is getting lost in transit is last time when Pakistan was the host, we went and played in Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, yes, of course, yes.
Sri Lanka, right. So the thing is, I mean, it's certainly going to work up in billions. I can't give you a ballpark figure at this point.
Okay.
But that is definitely weighing on them. Yeah, we know about it.
All right. Mr. Azad, is it time to stop pretending that cricket is just a game when it clearly isn't, especially between India and Pakistan? Because a lot of people say that, look, we have been in conflict with Pakistan for the past 75 years with, very sustained period of peace. So we have always been in conflict. We have always had cricketing ties for the most part of it. What is different this time around?
I think what is different is the extremities committed by the Pakistani terrorists, and they have gone beyond a limit which cannot be bearable anymore. If you see the last time, I remember in 2003 or 2004, Mr. Bajpayee had done almost everything. He had gone to, Lahore, and then the Kargil came. And after that, the Agra talks were held. Even then, Pakistan refused to give the assurance that there will be no cross-border terrorism. Then again, cricket diplomacy was tried, and I had gone to Pakistan in advance to give that report. And after 15 years, again, cricket was resumed. But then you see what happened in Mumbai. And that Bombay attack was horrific, where everyone was killed. So right now, after Pahalgam, I mean, forget about these rights. Yes, of course, TV rights, any match between India and Pakistan will get a lot of money. But, after all, when you play cricket, it's of course security. And it was a nightmare, by the way, doing security in Pakistan. It looks very good from outside.
Yeah.
So the kind of money is phenomenal, and that's the reason why the Pakistan cricket board always wants to play with India. And today, India is, of course, the richest board. There's no doubt about it. But there is no question. There is also, if you do a referendum today in India, I mean, I think 80% of the people will say not to play against Pakistan. So it doesn't really matter even if we are kicked out of the Asia Cup in this year. How does it matter? I mean, once Pakistan has even done it, I think in 91 or 92.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And the other problem is that if you're playing in Dubai on September 14, definitely you will come in Super 4. Again, you will play. Okay. After that, again, you will play.
If you manage to reach the finals, you will possibly play them for the third time. Mr. Azad, I also want to get a sense from you on how the cricketers are basically, especially the ex-cricketers, etc., because they are not really associated with the BCCI anymore. A lot of these cricketers, they were playing the World Championship of Legend, this tournament. They refused to play Pakistan. Are we asking too much of these cricketers to act as diplomats, or are they also beneficiaries of national sentiment when it suits them and, remain silent when it doesn't?
That's true. I mean, you see, do you recall that the kind of invectives which were coming from the Pakistani players during Operation Sindoor? From the Afridis and the other people. And there were some cricketers here like Gautam Gambhir who responded to it very, very strongly. So, well, I would leave it individually to the cricketers to respond the way they like it. I don't think there should be a kind of pressure on them to sort of wear the patriotism on their shoulders. But if they want to come out on their own, yes, it's welcome. Like the legends, if they refuse to play, it's absolutely fine. Though as a game of cricket, let me tell you, I was with the Pakistani team in '99 and traveled with them all over. Their relationship is excellent. And why not? As sportsmen, they respect each other. When it comes to country, obviously the country is above all this. And so let's leave it to them. Let's not pressurize them to sort of come out.
All right. Mr. Yashwardhan Azad and Gautam Bhattacharya, thank you very much for speaking with NDTV and sharing your views on this. This is obviously a conversation that is going to continue. We don't know the future of this tournament. We don't know whether the Asia Cup, although it has been advertised, the India-Pakistan match is going to take place on the 14th of September. Whether that goes ahead, whether that tournament goes ahead or not. But what we can be rest assured of is the fact that there are going to be a lot of voices. There are going to be a lot of voices to boycott this tournament, especially after Pahalgam terror attack and Operation Sindoor that followed. Thank you, gentlemen, for speaking to us. Time for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side.